The trailer opens like a whisper from the past, soft, sorrowful, and heavy with a sense of unfinished mourning. It's been years since Ty passed, but you can still feel his presence in every frame, like a shadow that never quite leaves the room. The trailer doesn't try to hide this. In fact, it leans into it. Amy walks through the ranch with quiet footsteps, her eyes distant, and her smile fleeting. It's the kind of smile you force for the sake of your child, not because the pain is gone, but because you've learned to carry it. That pain is central to Amy's world, but this season, it's no longer just her burden to bear. Lyndy, no longer a toddler, is starting to understand more than she should. She's asking questions. She's watching every move her mother makes. And in this first episode, her fear becomes heartbreakingly clear. She's scared that Amy is moving on. Not just in life, but from Ty. To a child, especially one who never got enough time with her dad, that feels like betrayal. You can see it in her eyes when Nathan appears in the trailer. She doesn't just see a new man, she sees a threat. A replacement. And Amy knows it. You can feel her inner conflict, torn between honoring the memory of Ty and allowing herself the chance to live again. Because deep down, she wants to move forward. She wants to be able to feel something again, to love again. But every step toward Nathan feels like a step away from the life she built with Ty. And Lyndy can sense that. The tension between mother and daughter isn't loud, it's quiet, heartbreaking, and real. It's in the way Lyndy clings to old photos, or the way she hesitates before speaking her truth. But this isn't just a story about grief. It's about guilt. Amy isn't just grieving Ty, she's punishing herself for wanting happiness again. And that guilt becomes more visible when Lyndy finally voices her fear. If you marry Nathan, will we still remember Dad? That one question, soft and simple, cuts deeper than any argument ever could. It's a question Amy has asked herself 100 times but never had the courage to answer. Meanwhile, Nathan isn't blind to any of this. He feels the weight of Ty's legacy in every room he steps into. He's not trying to replace Ty, but how can he build a future with Amy when she's still haunted by her past? In one of the most powerful moments of the trailer, we see Nathan confront Caleb, snapping with a mix of anger and insecurity. "You'll never be Ty. Neither will I." It's not just jealousy. It's the raw admission that no matter what he does, he'll always be standing in the shadow of someone gone but never forgotten. Caleb, of course, isn't just an innocent bystander. He's always been there, steady, loyal, and silently watching Amy's journey from grief to recovery. And let's be honest, there's a part of him that still wonders what if? The trailer hints at this tension, a moment where Caleb's eyes linger too long, where silence says more than words. And with Nav. In every season of Heartland, we've seen heartbreak, healing, and the bonds of family tested. But this time, the emotional core isn't just Amy, it's Lyndy. Season 19 shifts the spotlight ever so slightly, and what we see in the trailer is a young girl caught between memory and reality. Lyndy isn't just missing Ty, she's starting to fear that he's being erased, slowly and quietly, right in front of her eyes. And that fear isn't just emotional, it's existential. To her, forgetting Ty would mean forgetting who she is. Lyndy doesn't throw tantrums. She doesn't scream or slam doors. That's not her way. Her pain is quiet, but constant. The trailer shows her pulling away, avoiding Nathan, hesitating when Amy reaches out, clinging to a drawing of her dad like it's the last piece of him she has left. It's the kind of storytelling that hits you without needing to be loud. Her silence is the scream. And the way she watches Amy, it's like she's waiting for her mom to cross a line that can't be uncrossed. What's even more heartbreaking is that Amy sees it. She's trying. She's doing everything she can to comfort Lyndy, but how do you explain grief to a child who's still learning what loss even means? Amy's face in the trailer says it all. Every time she tries to reassure Lyndy, she's really trying to convince herself. Ty will always be part of us, she says, and she believes it. But deep down, there's that fear. What if moving forward really does mean letting go? The most powerful moment between Amy and Lyndy comes when Lyndy finally opens up. "You don't smile the same anymore," she says, softly. It's such a simple line, but the weight behind it is massive. To Lyndy, her mother's changing face, her laughter with Nathan, her distracted mind, it's all a sign that something permanent is shifting. And for a girl who already lost her father, the idea of losing her mom, even emotionally, is terrifying. And it's not just Amy and Nathan she's watching. Caleb's presence stirs something in her too. She remembers him. He was there when Ty was alive. He's part of the old Heartland, the one that felt safe and whole. And maybe that's why Lyndy instinctively feels closer to him. It's not romantic, obviously, it's emotional security. She's drawn to anything that still feels like her dad, even if it's just a familiar face or an old story shared by someone who knew him well. That's what makes Nathan's position even more difficult. He isn't doing anything wrong. In fact, the trailer makes it clear that he cares deeply for Amy and respects Ty's memory. But intention doesn't change perception. Lyndy sees him as an intruder, no matter how gentle or kind he tries to be. And when he sees how much space Ty still takes up in Amy and Lyndy's lives, he starts to question his place in the picture. There's a scene, brief but intense, where Nathan is alone, watching Amy from a distance. He sees her laughing at something Caleb says, sees the way Lyndy runs to him without. Just when Amy begins to navigate her delicate balance between the past and the future, and just as Nathan starts trying to earn a place within that fragile space, a new storm rolls in, and it's wearing the face of family. Nathan's sister is back. And this time, she's not standing in the background. She's front and center, unapologetic, and dangerous in a way that doesn't need volume to make an impact. The trailer wastes no time setting the tone for her return. A single glance from her tells you everything. She didn't come back to reconnect. She came back to reclaim something, and she doesn't care who she has to hurt to get it. Her presence brings a whole new energy to season 19, cold, sharp, and unpredictable. And unlike most enemies in Heartland, this one isn't a stranger. She has roots. She has history. And worse, she has leverage. Because she's not just Nathan's sister. She used to be close to Amy's mother. She knows this land, this family, and their weaknesses. That makes her a far more dangerous kind of threat, one who can't be pushed away with polite boundaries or distant tolerance. She's walking in with entitlement, like she owns a piece of Heartland just by showing up. And the way she looks at Amy? It's not jealousy. It's challenge. From the very first scene she appears in the trailer, the tension spikes. The air shifts. Nathan, who's spent the last few seasons trying to be a bridge between his world and Amy's, is suddenly split down the middle. His sister pulls him one way, Amy the other. And the worst part? His sister doesn't even pretend to care about subtlety. She's direct. "You can't serve two families, Nathan," she says, her voice cold as stone. "Pick one." That line hits like a punch. Because for Nathan, choosing Amy doesn't just mean choosing love, it means going to war with his own blood. And this isn't just sibling rivalry. His sister is tied to the family ranch, tied to business decisions, tied to the legacy Nathan is trying to preserve. She doesn't want Nathan with Amy. Not because she's heartbroken or bitter, but because she sees Amy, and by extension Heartland, as a threat to everything she wants to control. She wants her own family to stand tall. She doesn't care if that means tearing down someone else's. The trailer hints that she's already planting seeds of doubt, questioning Amy's influence, whispering concerns about how Ty's memory is being used as an excuse to hold Nathan back. She isn't just attacking emotionally, she's positioning herself strategically. This is someone who plays long games. And right now, Amy and Lyndy are in her way. Lou sees it immediately. In fact, she's the first to push back. Lou's scenes in the trailer are brief, but powerful. She doesn't trust Nathan's sister for a second. And she makes it clear that protecting the ranch, and Amy, comes first. Even if that means pushing Amy to question the man she's finally learning to trust. There's a moment where Lou says, "This isn't just a..." As the trailer builds to its midpoint, the tone shifts. What started as quiet grief and emotional conflict begins to crack open into something more raw: confusion, confrontation, and unspoken truths rising to the surface. And it's not just Amy who's struggling anymore. Everyone around her is starting to feel the weight of decisions no one wants to make. Loyalties are being tested. Boundaries are blurring. And love, the thing that once brought them all together, might now be the very thing pulling them apart. Let's start with Caleb. For seasons, he's been the dependable one. The steady presence. The old friend who never really left. He's watched Amy fall, rise, fall again. And somewhere deep down, he's always been ready, waiting for the moment she might need him. He never pushed. He never claimed space. But now that Nathan is stumbling under the pressure, Caleb finds himself closer to Amy than ever before. Between Nathan and